second. So let's get housekeeping going. We, as a brokerage, we recognize social media is this necessary kind of evil, right? It's when you get on social media, you can get dragged into the abyss and not be intentional, and your time flies by, and 2 hours later you've been watching TikToks and got nothing done. And so, we just want to stress that it's really important that you time block and maybe set alarms to remind you to come back to reality if you tend to go off track and get distracted like some of us do. But then make sure when you're intentional, make sure you're engaging with your database on there, but then also doing the posts. And the posts really mean video and you in front of the camera. We can't stress that enough. And Bianca is a realtor with us, and she's just going to share, her journey on social media and what she's doing and how she's doing it. And I have agents who don't want to play the game, but know they need to play the game. And they say, what are the options? And the options are either you learn it and invest your time as a resource into figuring it all out and doing it yourself, or you spend money and hire others to help you do it. Like those are the two options. We can't, ignoring in this market and going into the changes we're facing in real estate, I think is going to end up with you getting out of real estate. My older agents who haven't embraced social media, their database is no longer thinking of them as realtors because they're not staying in front of their database on social media. And so we've got to play the game. We've got to play the game, unfortunately. So think about that. Think about, am I going to invest my time into really getting good at social media for real estate, or am I going to invest resources, meaning money, and go figure it out and pay someone to do a lot of it? Now, there's only so much hired help can do. Amber's helping us on the company side, and she has to have the content from Chad or from his team or from me. Like we still are having to shoot the videos and create the pictures and whatever it is, do the tags when you're out in public, that kind of stuff. So there's only so much hired help can help you with. We are working on putting together more resources for you guys, so be on the lookout for that. And then a couple other housekeeping things. Hopefully you guys have seen the OneNote and everything. Next week's roundtable, I'm going to mention this first. The roundtable, the roundtable is in Buda next week, and I moved it from 1 to 3 to 12 to 2. So if you are someone who plugged ahead on the calendar, I moved it on you because the party barges that afternoon, and I have to finish roundtable and get home and pack up and get out to the lake. So I wanted to make sure you all know that for next week. That's Buda's roundtable in Buda. Oh my God. Prosper's roundtable in Buda next week, next Thursday, 12 to 2. So time change. And Brian, I know you just jumped on and I hope you heard that, but just check the calendar for dates and times on everything. Then we've added, for those of you that were in roundtable last Thursday, I talked and highlighted a little bit about this auction company. I can't really call it an auction. I keep calling it an auction. I have to stop. It's an online bidding system. An auction means the winner at the end gets the house. In this case, the winner at the end may not necessarily get the house, because if the bid wasn't high enough for the seller to accept it, then they don't have to accept it. So it's technically not an auction, it's an online bidding system. I really think that this online bidding system can be a phenomenal tool for us, because it's a way for us to attract listings by advertising a free ability to sell your home and not pay commissions. So it's a really cool, unique selling proposition. That's what USP stands for. If you look at the calendar and it says USP, you wondered what the heck. So I think it's a great opportunity. It also puts the commissions at the expense of the buyer, which solves problems that we're facing with these lawsuits. So that class is on the 15th of August from 10 to noon. If you're going to be in person, please email me and save a seat, because we will be full. And I highly, highly, highly recommend you're there. And then I've added an IABS buy rep class. So next Tuesday's new agent training from 10 to 11 is IABS and buy rep. That's all we're going to focus on. And I'm going to encourage the whole office to attend that so that we fix problems we have out there. And then I've added a 2-hour contracts class on the 16th We're going to do contract for the first hour, and then we're going to do addendums for the second hour. So make sure you guys get those all on your calendar and get those scheduled. And then that is it for housekeeping. While we're still waiting, hopefully Bianca's pulling up at any second. While we're waiting for her, are there any questions for me on anything at all? We'll just open it up to any topic. Anybody online with any questions? That may be Bianca who doesn't know the code. We're gonna start charging you $1, not you guys, because you all got in here without needing it. Yep, that's her. Okay, she's coming in. I'm going to, and since no one's asking any questions, I will go ahead and get out of the way and let her take over. Hello, come on in. No worries. So you come up here, you're teaching. I'm gonna go sit there. I'm going to, since you've got handy dandy tools. So online, there's a group of agents. This is the speaker where they're gonna hear you. We've logged into Instagram. It's our account, but if you want to, whatever you want to do, just let me know. Yep.
Okay.
And I'm there and thank you.
Yes, I'm looking at the. So one thing so I just came back from the Ford event from, it was Neil. It was just a content creators event. And so one of the main things that I picked up was that I learned that I was doing wrong is that I was hopping on trends rather than like educating the people that I work with. So there's going to be a whole transition on what I'm doing on here. One thing I want to utilize versus the trends on the audio sound is my voice, because ultimately a lot of our followers, they come for the brand. They don't come for the brand of your realty group. It's more of the individual. So one of the first things I feel like is important to post on your social media is a video of about you, of like, let me show you. Rachel Person is kind of my North Star. Her. No, that's not her. No. So she lives in like a small town. I think the homes are built in like the 1800s. And she's the only one that had this. How do you spell Rachel?
Usually it's EL, but.
Rachel. It's Person. Oh, there it goes. So in her community, it's super conservative. And so what she did was she took advantage of the fact that she's completely different from her market. Her mom is the complete opposite of her. So anyways, what she did was she posted something that was, what is the word? Pretty much going against the rails of what the community kind of goes for. Everybody has like the old brick red homes. She turned around and painted her her home all black. So she ended up getting tons of followers. I think she got like 1 million. Where's her video? Anyways, where is it at? She just went against the grain of what like her community was doing, which I feel like out of that, it doesn't have to necessarily be the like painting your house black, brick black. It's more of whatever you feel about yourself, like whatever you feel about yourself that you hold in, and not a lot of people, like me personally, one of the things that I've been kept quiet was I've always told my clients, like, I don't believe in selling real estate. I believe in holding real estate for like a generational wealth. So whatever I can do to help those clients keep their properties to become like landlords or just have generational wealth to pass down, that's what I do. So I feel like that's something that not a lot of real estate agents would agree with. But also I feel like that would capture a lot of other people that are on the same alignment as me, and they'll have the respect for that. The same for her with her house being painted black. That's what I was looking that's what I was gonna get to, was the next video was her about me, but I'm looking for it. It was just a historic home that she painted black, and that was really it. It was, but anyways, after she went viral, she turned around and made an about me video, which it looks like I was thinking MTV. I don't know why I was thinking like an MTV video of about her, but let's watch it real quick. I don't know if y'all can hear it.
Down at the bottom, you have to click that view. Oh, it's hidden.
Sorry, this is in your way.
Oh,
Hide. And we'll just click on it again. Was it this one?
no.
Gained a lot of new followers lately, so I thought I'd introduce myself. You may know me from painting my brick black, or the fact that my son is obsessed with cars, but I'm also a real estate agent here in Massachusetts, so big old houses, and I'm from Newburyport. This is my son Caleb. He is 4 and in preschool. He is absolutely insane, but the sweetest in the world. This is my fiance. We're getting married next month, so that's cool. When I'm not selling houses, I am working on my own house, looking ridiculous while doing it. I'm not doing all that. I'm going to car shows with the family. I also love my Mini. So if you like DIY, real estate, and cars, follow. Hi, I'm Rachel. Gained a lot of new followers.
So what she did with that intro is she told a personal, because the thing is you have to have somebody, you have to find the people that are from your tribe, how they align with you. So what she did was she explained her interest, who she is as an individual, and what you're gonna see, what to expect on her social media. So I think that's something that we all should put, for one, on our bio, like on our Instagram bio. It should never be about us. It's about the consumer, what they should expect from us. And sure. So your target audience, your niche, you'll say, what is our biggest challenge right now that we're facing here in Austin? Interest rates. What about, because we kind of want it to be timeless. So what about affordability? Who do you think the biggest challenge is that's having a hard time purchasing those homes? Right. So what we can do is put on our bio, you know, the breakdown should be the obstacle, which we should always put who our arch enemy is, right? Which is the obstacle, which is affordability, fighting affordability, and then who you're working for, which is first time home buyers through, and then you'll say like content strategies or house hacks or whatever it is you think you're going to educate them on. You tell them what to expect, because what the thing is when they get on your social media, within 3 clicks, you have to give them what they're asking for, which you're saying on your bio. If you're not providing that, then after a couple clicks, when they look at your account, they're like, no, they'll follow it, or they'll go click on it to see if whatever you did to capture their attention intentionally, they're going to go look and see if there's relevancy and to see if you guys line up. It's almost like speed dating to see how much you guys have in common. If y'all don't have nothing in common, you're losing that follower, and you're also misleading them because you're hopping on a trend. So if we hop on a trend and they see that you're really not a funny person, you just wanted to be funny for that moment, and you're not like the empathetic person, you're misleading 2 people, the funny person that's looking to follow you, and the empathetic person that thinks that you can't align with whatever they're going through or whatever it is. So I would say basically that, like, your bio should be about who you're helping, what's the obstacle, and how you're going to help them. And then on your Instagram,
Personal, your fans. So like she sprinkled in, she's working on her house, her kid, like you need
yes,
those personal ands in there. You're a realtor, and what else?
yeah.
What else? What
You're
other
just,
hobbies?
because there's no way we're just a realtor that dresses perfect, brushes our hair nice. Like, they need to see us with our hair down. Like, they need to see us on our good days and our bad days. And then also, like you said, like the personal side, like you're not just a realtor, you're a mother of 10 kids, 1 kid, whatever, grandma. They have to love you at wherever you're at, so you can attract those people. Because what I've learned is the more people that we attract, if we keep it wide, we're going to attract a wide range of people and not know how to even communicate with them, because we don't know them from wherever. So the thing is to get really, really tight in your niche and, yeah, trying to attract them with your content. What I've also learned was that I don't want to just, like I said, hop on the trend of the audio trend. It's great to do that, but also do your voice, because I feel like what I'm learning is there has to be some point of contact of you, right? Whether it's your face or it's your voice or it's your opinion on that video. You need to do one of the three on that video. It cannot be a trend just of a trend. What else would I say that I've learned from this content? Storytelling. The video that I posted today, I could have posted a picture of a family. Congratulations, Danielle and Zachary.
Go back to share it. So
Yeah.
I think we started showing at the beginning, make sure we get sound, but
This, so what I'll say from this is the tone of mine, is like, I at first I was fighting it. I didn't want to work with first time home buyers because it's a lot of work, but also at the same time, I want to grow with those families. So I've learned to tell myself, like, it's not about growing with the, I think it's more important for me to grow with them. So eventually it'll probably transition who I'm targeting. But for right now, my heart is for first time home buyers. So what you're going to see on my stuff is a lot of humor and education at the same time. And I think I kind of like hit a rabbit hole with these like professional grade videos. Like, yes, they're great, and my personality showing out of them. But I think what I was doing was doing too much of the same thing. I wasn't changing it up. And so what I will say is, when I do these, the next time you'll see these videos roll out, you're going to see not just an A roll, you're going to see an A through like probably D roll, a whole bunch of different videos of me explaining the same thing, but they're going to get tired of just seeing me sitting. I want them to see me through the process of what we're doing on buying down the interest rate, whether it be scenario based of me talking to the lender, like as a humorous video, like where it's educating, or it's me doing the A roll, explaining, sitting down, and there's other chops of it because the attention. Okay. So typically when you're shooting a video, a lot of us, we like to sit and do it like from this angle and just like, hey, this is today. No, like if you're gonna, instead of doing that, not the algorithm, the attention span, not that it's short, it's just that we're boring. It's not that it's short. It has to be informative. It has to be educational, and it has to be entertaining. So what I do is I include captions. You can look up the captions app. There is another app that I use, which is CapCut, which you can speed up, slow down. It goes in a rhythm like of the video. You can ride the audio waves with it. But what I do with those, while I'm using CapCut, I'm actually showing, it can be simple things, right? It could be you opening a door on locking the interest for, I don't know, like it could be the silliest things. But the thing is they're just getting tired of us sitting down, showing our faces and just talking. The talking head, I feel like it's going away. We need to start adding the A, B, C, D roll. And what those are is, again, is the simple things that we do on our everyday life, whether it's us putting on our shoes, whatever, just educating them. And then it could be us, A roll is us sitting in front of the camera, sitting there. B roll can be us doing our day-to-day things. C roll can be, a client, like us going through the process. Anyways, it just needs to be different angles. It can't be the one angle of us, right? Different perspectives of whatever we're explaining.
video that you just posted today, and then share it.
Right. Oh, so storytelling. Back to that part. Sorry. This is the rabbit hole with the social media looks like is this right here in person. So what I learned from Forward was, again, like a lot of us, we like to post who we just closed on, and like, congratulations, Danielle and Zach, they just purchased their first home. Everybody's gonna like it because they like Danielle and Zach, but nobody's going to know the background of how Danielle and Zach got there, what obstacles they faced, and if it's going to speak to them. Because the thing is we want to reach more families by speaking their language. And it shouldn't always be about me. Let them speak from their perspective as the consumer. What did you, like, be honest. What was the hardest part of the situation, and how did we overcome it, and where we are today? Do you regret it? Because a lot of first time home buyers are on the fence right now. So what we need to do is no longer just put our face telling that we want them to buy a house. Let their friend, it's almost like jumping off of a cliff. I'm going to jump because I see that you made it from the cliff. You're swimming and it looks like it's fun. I'm going to jump. But if I don't see anybody on that side and I got to be the first one, I'm not going to do it. So I feel like it's really important for them to see the people on the other side, that they've made it and they're okay and they're happy with their decision. So I feel like our social media needs to change the tonality of what the news and the media is saying, because this is a short window. No matter what, buyers are going to want to buy, that have to buy, and there's going to be sellers that have to sell. And so I think our goal is to attract those people and speak to them and tell them, what situation, like this family, what situation were they in? Their window was such a short window while the rates are high. We found a builder that was able to lock in, a rate. Now, it wasn't an easy ride. They lost out on a grant, so they had to come out of pocket $4,000 when they were anticipating $600, but they ended up getting there. So the moral of the story is who they were and, why they did it. And we can just watch it. Down at the bottom after I click on it. Okay.
Guys, the day is finally here. Danielle and Zachary purchased their very first home. Let me give you a quick backstory of how we ended up here. Our first lender that we talked to was actually for affordable housing. And when we talked to the affordable housing lender, she said, good luck on looking at traditional housing. You don't have a chance. But we did it anyways. We ended up getting in contact with Corey Lee with LGI Homes, and we just made the numbers work. Now, one thing I've learned about this family is family and they celebrate together. So congratulations, guys.
So that, like, it can be something like that, because like I said, it's going to speak to the person that's on the same, they're like, man, I'm really thinking about it. And they're looking at this stuff, studying, and what they're going to do, what we don't know that they're going to do, is they're going to reach out to Danielle and Zach and be like, how was it? What are your payments? They're going to have those side conversations, and they're going to want to come back and reach out to us and be like, if that's your story. So the thing is we don't want just them to reach out to Danielle and Zach. We want them to see Danielle and Zach's story on this side. But also we want to be transparent. So how do I say it? And like I said, like a lot of people a lot of consumers are shy to tell their story. Some are happy and proud to tell it. The ones that are happy and proud to tell it, we should definitely share it. And because when people are proud about their decision, they talk to their close ones, right? They'll tell them like, this is where we were at, this is what we did. When more than likely we're going to end up getting that referral out of that family member, because they're like, man, if you could do it, I can do it. Why do we keep ourselves constrained to that small conversation that they have when it can be held on social media? This is better than cold calling, because these are warm leads that are coming to you that are wanting your business. So I feel like it's better for us to share the story, keep it like as loud as possible what the situation was for them, so you can attract those clients. But also, there was somewhere else I was getting with this. How I come up with my content is, if I hear something 3 times, I put it in my notes on my phone. I'll put it on my notes app. Yesterday, what they were one of the obstacles that the brother was facing, why he wanted to buy a house, why he couldn't buy a house, was his credit is shot. His parents put their utility bills in his name. So he didn't even have a shot. By the time he turned 18, he didn't even have a shot to buy a home. So my next video that I'm going to post is, as a parent, this is rule number 1, never, ever use your kid's credit for your mistakes. And I feel like if you're a kid on that end and you've already been, and put in that position, they're going to want to correct it before they even, start looking at a house. They're going to want to transition parents to have their own name and them, or they're going to know the importance of how much that, helping your family out was supposed to be such a short-term thing that it's costing you, a window of opportunity that we have. So if I hear something that's alarming to me, I feel like it's really important that I need to say it. And I don't want to, just shoot the first person that tells me that. I would rather speak to it vaguely outwards, to where when someone asks me, I'm like, oh, you know what? I made a video on that. You're not the first person that asked me. And then they'll hear the story. Like I can educate them, or I can, send them this video, and then that'll be the conversation. That's a conversation we don't even have to have. They'll just see it. Or it honestly gives them an opportunity to prep themselves before they even call me. they're learning from my videos. So when, by the time I get the conversation with them, get in conversation with them, they're like, look, I already know, like, you know, we have the option to buy down an interest rate. You know, we can do this, we can do that. I'm like, how do you know? I'm watching your videos. And I'm like, great. So you just killed like an hour conversation. Let's go looking. Let's get you pre-approved. I don't even have to explain the importance of getting pre-approved now because I've already done the farming.
Can you talk a little bit about that then? Because like you said, if people are getting tired of the A-roll, but you still need to have a content of library that's educational, right?
Right.
So can you just mention the importance of that?
Of the,
Like what's the that stuff?
right.
So
So, yeah, so that's what I was gonna say is I will start, like, if I didn't from day one, I was like, okay, let's get to the basics. Where do I start this content? And so I drew it all the way up of how does a consumer start? I need to start from there. I need to start from, you know, kindergarten all the way to 12th grade for them. So that's that's how I started, was how to apply for a mortgage or what to consider with the mortgage, you know, or how do you know if the lender's for you, you know? And one of the funny things that I said was, tell the lender that you have a credit score, and this might be true, you know, for someone. Tell the lender you have a credit score of like a 580 or 560 or whatever. Those lenders won't call you back. And that's how you know that's not the lender for you. But the ones that work through it with you, that's the one you need to stick to. Because not a lot of lenders want to even, you know, do all the footwork with you. So that's how I tell my consumers of how to, you know, pick out their lender. And that's not everybody's situation, but I'll tell them that, or I'll tell them, I have an automated email where I'll tell them like, you could either call your preferred realtor, see who they trust, or ask a family member, you know, what was their experience with that lender or a lender, use a family lender. So I would start from square one when you start this content. Because you don't want to jump into like how to buy a rate. And they're like, what are you talking about? What? So I would say start from square one, start farming by planting the seeds. And then that's how I got to where we're at now, is like how to buy down an interest rate. The next video that I should post right here is how do I know that buying down the interest rate is for you? I haven't posted it yet. One thing I've learned about this too is like, it's an algorithm. So if you're not gonna post, don't post. If you're not gonna be consistent, Instagram wants you to post, all social media platforms, I'm sorry, they want you to post at least 5 days a week. TikTok is even more. It's probably twice a day, to ride that algorithm.
But do you know if the algorithm is also based off of when you post? Because so for example, I primarily post during the week, but the times I post on the weekends, I don't get as many views.
Yeah, so I would go to, you can read, like you can go on here and look at your analytics.
Some of that is that the families, the people, when they're bored at work, watch, and then on the weekend, the family's busy doing stuff,
I thought about that.
and they're
too.
not engaged on social media.
Yeah, so what Beyond's talking about is you have insights. And on the insights, you can see when your followers are typically engaging on the platform.
Okay, and that just reminded me, you need to, before you start posting, you need to reach out to your family members or your friends and family, ask them like, hey, as an individual, who do you see? Like, who do you see me as? Because the thing is I was trying to be serious on a lot of my videos, and that was not my personality. I'm not a serious person. I'm super goofy. And the thing is like, I was trying to put up a persona that was not, for one, it was not attracting the person because they knew that I was scripted. Two, I wasn't even comfortable in what I was wearing. I wasn't even comfortable in the way I was talking. So it was almost like a brick wall was between us. So what I think is really important before we start posting is reach out to your family and friends and ask them if they can, in a couple, maybe 3 words that describe me. And based off those 3 words, whatever the common word is, if you hear that you're a person of humor, if you hear that you're a serious person, you need to go for that, and you need to stick to that personality, because that is truly who you are. And those are the things that speak to people. So if those speak to the ones that are closest to you, you need to make sure that you're showing that on your platforms of who you are. Right. Yeah, be authentic. And then on that part too, is if you've been in real estate for a while, you need to figure out who your avatar is as a consumer. When you're being you're the goofy, go lucky, happy go lucky person. But who are you talking to? Are you talking to someone that's like 70 years old? Are you talking to a Gen Z, millennial? And then, I'm not saying you have like, and this is what Tom Ferry says is you got to do dog calls. But I feel like we don't necessarily have to even do the dog calls. And if you want to, you could. You may, hey, Gen Z buyers, if you're in today's market, this is something that you need to consider. You can do the dog calls, or you can start prepping them to where they know it's you. Like, hey, a lot of young families or first time home buyer families are facing this challenge. A lot of empty nesters are facing this challenge. You can do that, or you could do it. Yeah, I mean, I think that's what Jason Pantana wants us to do is like do a dog call them by whatever they are, empty nesters, first time home buyers, Gen Z buyers, move up sellers, whatever. You call them out to let them know that you're trying to attract their attention. And it's almost like calling them by their name. What, Bianca? What? You're gonna want to Oh, okay. So this is like this was a good one. It worked out like it was a Gen Z home tour. But what I realized in this video was it was a home for like 500,000. There's no way in hell a Gen Z buyer is gonna afford this. So what I should have done was, I mean, I think it's good. It's a good tour, but also I could have like during this tour, I probably could have educated them, credit score, minimum credit score, whatever, because that's who I'm trying to attract. But it was a good video. It used to be fun.
Then you're driving me home, and it kinda comes out as I get up to go. You kiss me in your car, and it feels like the start of a movie I've seen.
I get tired of stuff there.
But it's not real, and you don't exist.
I didn't know how to dance. I'm not a dancer. I have no abs.
Point there and reiterate that. So you posted because done is better than not done, right?
Right.
But you also went back and you're like, hey, how can I do better? So
Right.
How does that go into your planning?
So back to the notes. I go back to my notes, and even if it's like something so small of the placement of the wording on the frame of, like, let's just say I want to be, sometimes I test out on myself, right? So I'll use the captions that Instagram wants me. They love that. They love when you use their edits. So I'll even, so you can edit on the captions app, CapCut, all that stuff. But Instagram actually, like, they will feed into the algorithm more if you use their stuff. If you use their editing skills. So sometimes what I do is I'll edit the video, half edit it, right? And I'll clean it up on the app itself, just so if they see that I'm messing around with their stuff, so they can show, like, it shows a little bit of like love back to them, of how they want the platform. Yeah. So sometimes I'll add the captions. Like this one, I added the homeowners one, first generation homeowners. I added their captions. Just because I wanted to see. I was just wanting to test it out because it's been a while that I've used their stuff. Yeah, so it's the CapCut. It's black and white. You can use the captions app, and that's the one it comes. So, no, I don't know. I know. So I would say use one at a time. One at a time. Don't do them all, because then you forget what you even paid for. So I would say one at a time and play around with it. Play around with the edits, add something to it, pull things from it.
Great life now. How you use different fonts there,
Mhm.
which one?
So that one is the same one as the CapCut for the Gen Z home tour, which I like those better because it's moving words versus like the captions. So I think with talking heads, you're better off with just the captions. I'm gonna figure out too, like right now, what I've noticed is a lot of content creators, they're not only using just the captions. This is a good one that I liked. And I guess it did perform. Yeah, that's where you stay up late at night and just rabbit hole after rabbit hole. But there's something I'm gonna figure out for you guys really soon. I'm actually studying it right now. I was trying to figure out how people are doing the moving captions, like the GIFs. I really want to figure out the moving GIFs.
And what content, yeah. A video saved.
Ricky Caruth. Is it-
And then pin on this note, I want you to talk too about how you do your time blocking. Or
Well-
your suggestion. So you don't, I mean, because we're talking about rabbit holes a lot.
Can I come? Actually, there was something I was gonna add to that about the notes part is that before, because I'm gonna forget this part. This one's important, but if I see that I could have done better at something, I would talk to myself on my notes and tell myself, hey, next time, even if I come up with content ideas, again, those go to the notes. The notes is my diary. If I lose this phone, I lose everything. So what I do is if I tell myself like, man, this could have been better if I would have added the captions, or if I would have centered it a little bit, I literally will screenshot some things on my phone, and I'll have a specific album of like, because the thing is, a lot of us, we like things that we think that are good ideas, but we forget it. So what I'll do is I will download the video on my phone to my phone, and then I'll add it to a separate album on my phone, and I'll say content ideas. So whenever there's time I hit like holes and I forget what I want to create, I will go to my album where it has content ideas, and then I'll go back to my notes. And sometimes on my notes, I talk to myself and I'm like, and most of your ideas, I feel like your blood flows a lot when you're in the shower. So I literally sometimes will jump out of the shower, write the notes down of like content ideas, because I don't know why, it happens a lot in the shower. And so I'll tell myself like, hey Siri, add notes to this or whatever, and that will be my idea. And so that's where the time blocking goes, is I will give myself until the end of the week to either create the content, even if I have it in my phone, I created the video, as long as it's there, because one day late at night, I'm gonna lay in bed and edit it, and then at 8 a.m. I post it, because I feel like it's like getting back into you have to figure out who, back to the avatar, who is that person that you attract, and that can be your past clients. Go to your past clients, make 2 circles, the 2 cylinders with the middle piece or whatever. I forgot what that is. The compare and contrast cylinders, whatever. All your clients, write down their ages from left to right, male and the female. What do they have in common? What is their age range? Is it 30 to 40? Do they work in the medical field? Are they firefighters? Like, who are they? And then from there, you narrow it all the way down to that center of what they all have in common. And that's the person that you start speaking to, and you start gravitating, like trying to get their attention. And that's when that's who you determine those dog calls need to go out to.
That's what you're talking about, doing the overlays.
Yeah. So you could do that in the captions
Yeah.
app, but I feel like, man, you'll spend some time on that thing.
Well, this one was using CapCut, and people already do the green screen, so they have it, and then you can put your own. Is that what you're talking about? The
Mhm.
GIFs? Okay.
Yeah, but Ricky has so many of them. Like I'm pretty sure I mean, of course he hired somebody. We need to find somebody that can do that for us, because this is not our job. Like, we shouldn't be, if you have the production, I would say hire out. Like, but also what I've learned is also don't just hire out and expect them to know what you want. You teach them. If nobody's gonna know exactly what you want and see the visions that you have in your head. You teach them what you want, and you show them what you want. Well, then we need a teacher so we can all just get her drumming.
Well, so one of the thing is, some of these that we're talking about, there's some that are apps that you would need to have that are paid apps. Now, if you're hiring out and someone already has access to all those, then yeah, you might be able to do stuff like that. But another thing is too, you already talked about at the beginning, trending, right? Now, if you're going to be consistent with your brand and it's part of your brand and you're speaking to it, yeah, but you don't always have to chase the trends, right? So it's nice, and you see what people are doing. And if you have time, or if you have someone, because you're just talking now, right? Don't waste your time. If you need to be out making calls, don't waste 2 hours trying to figure out one thing on social media.
Yes.
Where's your time worth? So Did you find one of his?
Yeah.
So they can
And
see?
that's what I was gonna say is, yeah, don't like, yes, we could study it, but also don't make sure that this is not all we do. Like, we still have to prospect, do our thing that we have to do.
Because do you,
our
when you're
day-to-day.
doing your stuff, Bianca, you're using your phone, right? Except for your professional ones, right?
Yeah.
You did some professional.
Mm.
All you need is a phone, right?
Mhm.
So.
Okay, yeah. And,
Only 10% of real estate agents are using social media. For the 90% of you who aren't using social media, why not? That's the question you need to ask yourself. I think that if you're going to win on social media, you're going to be consistent. And if you're consistent long enough, you're going to reinvent yourself over and over and over again. You got to understand that this is a marathon. You have to do it. You have to start, or you will never get to the place where you're making great content. If you're making horrible videos, go make a bunch of horrible videos because they're going to get better. Only 10% of real estate agents are using social media. For the
No, that's
Yeah.
worth repeating.
yeah, it is. That's perfect timing. And that's what I was gonna say is like, especially like right now, when I kind of like, when I'm not feeling like 100% like at my top performance, I won't post until I feel like I'm ready. And I feel like that I'm shooting my own self in the foot by doing that. So that's why that's why I create these videos and I keep them in a folder for when times come like this that I can just go ahead and post, because I can't, sometimes we can't paint ourselves happy. So I just get ahead. I try and get ahead of the thunderstorms or whatever, the rainy days. So that's what I was saying.
Videos that you do, or do you carousels too? Do you mix it up?
I think we do need to start mixing it up with carousels. I just haven't done that. I haven't put the time into that part.
Can you explain carousels or static posts versus videos? Just some people might not know what you mean by carousel.
So yeah, for a carousel is basically just a photo and you're just sliding through. I haven't dug into those because those are fairly new to me.
Those get considered as posting.
Yeah, I think any post is yeah. But I think the main point of those posts too on a carousel, your personality needs to be louder than what it would be on a video, because at that point they're no longer, their attention span is more to reading. So it needs to be informative and it needs to be vocal and it needs to have your opinion too. You need to always end it on your opinion.
I was listening to some podcast, I can't remember which one it was, but they were saying how reels aren't the only thing anymore, that I guess the static posts and carousels and all that are also like need to mix them.
And I haven't implemented that yet. And that's what I think is like, again, we're always going to be a little behind it. Like we're always going to be behind the wheel. But the thing is we try and stay with it as much as possible, but don't break your back for it. Like we still got to do our prospecting.
Do you ever like do stuff on the side, like do you ever have people approach you to show them how to do like certain things like that, like you, or you don't like?
No, yeah. And I have no problem if y'all want to like, because I feel like there's only so much time that I can have, at midnight or, 10 o'clock at night scrolling, like learning. If we did it together, we can get so much further. So whatever I know, I have no problem sharing. And that's what I was, one of the things that I just learned was, there's this guy, he's moving to another market and I just got him in the right mood. Like I just happened to catch him at the right time. He's on his way out. So he's like, here, kid, like passed me his trophies and told me what's working for him right now, because, we're fighting inflation and affordability is an issue. One of the things that he told me that I need to do is start doing a video home tours. And those they can have your voice over it, which I think is great. I'm probably going to do that. Just go ahead and add my voice with it, along with the trending audio, but also trying to pick up that, like, while I'm still feeding into my first time home buyer, I'm also going to try and approach the higher price point clients and do those home video tours. I have this DJI, this stabilizer. And so I don't really use the controls on it. I literally just hold it and it saves my bounce in my walk. And you can do from left to right swing, up to down swing, or you can just do a complete walkthrough. But make sure, like, wherever you're angling the camera, it's not a wall. Like, that's one thing I make sure I do is I'm not walking and it's running into a wall. I'm making sure that it's on the focal point of the rooms, because you're going to attract people with analytics. You're going to attract them with their emotions, and you're going to attract them with their eye candy on the houses. And so I think on our social media, we need to feed into all three of those.
So what is that?
Oh, this is a DJI gimbal. It's like $120 20 maybe. Amazon? They have different models.
You do the voiceovers on Instagram?
Yes. Yeah. You just go to, let me see, hold on, I can say it.
Make this. Like where you go to add the music, there's a microphone icon, you click on that and that's the voiceover.
Ooh, and one thing I was gonna say about that too is keep your audio at like maybe 10 to 12. The sound audio. Keep it as like at a 10 or 12. Like, don't let it overpower your voice. They need to hear your voice over it. So make sure you test it out and make sure that the sound is yours is more dominant than the trending audio. And then when you choose the trending audio, you can, what I typically do, how I find the trending audio is I literally go to the feed and I'll look for the up pointing arrow on the audio. And I don't go for something that has 130 reels post. I'll go for like in the middle. Like, I don't know exactly where the middle is. I wouldn't say 3,000. I'd probably say 10,000, but I wouldn't go 100,000 for sure, because that means it's already probably dying out.
I always see like videos where they're like, it's trending now, and it's like literally it has under 5,000, like, reels or something like that.
Yeah.
Or when they say,
Do
oh, it's
jump
gonna be
those.
trending,
Get on those. The ones that are the arrows going upwards, and as long as it's not over like 50, 100, like those, don't do that. I probably do like 10, maybe 3,000. And it has to be something too, like when you pick the audio, don't just like shoot and aim, like don't shoot without aiming. Make sure that it's something that like represents your personality, like who you are, like the kind of music, like if you like 50s, 70s music, go for that like type of music. I would say continue, stick to that. Because you don't want to play like offensive, like rap music and then go,
yeah, like all kinds of.
a pianist kind of stuff. Like, I mean, you'll be all over the place though. Cause remember, like they're going to click, and after 3 clicks, if you're not aligning with them, they're done. Like they're not interested. You lost them. So I would say just pick the stuff that matches your personality. And so for me, I try not to use like crazy stuff. Like my people are from my church for the most part. So I don't use like cuss words and stuff, like just crazy stuff. So I try to be ideal. I try to be considerate of my avatar at all times.
Did you say on the numbers on the trending?
I would probably say maybe like 30 to 10,000, and it has to have the up moving arrow. I can't say arrow. Yeah.
What would you say your biggest lesson learned is looking back at when you started getting serious about social media for real estate versus now? Like,
I think having a purpose with, I was having a hard time like being the professional, and then the goofy side was pointless. I had goofy, pointless videos, and then I had professional videos. So what I learned was to merge those two as one, because my social media, my platform was so inconsistent that people were getting mixed signals. And now, because I've merged the two personalities, or the two things that I feel like the two of my strong points, where I can be very informative, but I can also be funny too on the delivery.
I mean, your voice, your brand would
Yeah, that's exactly it. And I think that's the main thing that we got to keep talking about, is just voice and brand at all times when you're posting something. Does this align with my voice? Does this align with my brand? Is this to my avatar? Is this attracting my avatar when you're posting?
Schedule that you like. Dedicate hour, 2 hours.
We're going back to that. So what I do is I do schedule with my videographer, no matter what, once a month. What I'm trying to get better at with him is coming up with the content. Some people are different. Some people like to come up with the whole script. Some people will come up with the whole script and go line by line on the video. I found myself drowning. I was having a hard time communicating with my personality at the same time. So I stopped doing that. I just put subject lines and I just go off of like what I feel. I have key points now. I don't do scripts. And that's one thing I've learned is, for me, scripts don't work. Key points work for me. So you need to figure out who you are, if you're a script person or if you're a key point person. And no matter what, have that on your calendar. Like whether it be a couple of agents, y'all get together and go do video content, shoot for each other. If you don't have the budget to do the professional videographer, y'all look out for each other and do it for together, you know, and don't have like that mindset of what is the word? Like don't, I mean, yeah, like don't be like don't gatekeep, I guess. Don't gatekeep, don't
Somebody else's audience.
compliment them too, you know, if you see them struggling.
Different, right? You don't have to be like anyone else because then you're not being like you.
Mhm. So I think one of the things that we need to do, like day one, start from the basics, start like throwing the seeds for your farm. But also before you do that too, you need to put your bio video. This is homework for me too, speaking. We need to do the Rachel Person video. Rachel Person video. The who you are video. Rachel, her name. Oh, sorry. So Rachel Person. Okay. So Rachel Person did a video on who she is, her personal side, her professional side. No, it wasn't even professional at all, huh? She skimmed it, barely skimmed it.
She said she's a realtor, but then she said, this is who I am.
This is, yeah,
House, and I'm a mom.
I'll post it and I'll send it to you. So okay.
yeah.
There, if you go back to your page, like, do you feel offhand? Highest view video.
Yeah, I think it's this one. We can watch it. Which I
You
think
won't believe what I purchased to celebrate.
What?
I said you won't believe what I purchased to
You're
celebrate.
not supposed to be buying anything until after we close.
I know it's not brand new though. It's pre-owned.
What? Pre-owned what?
I bought a new Explorer.
No!
What? What?
I can't believe you did that!
What do we do now?
Sell it!
I can't. I love it. It's got heated seats.
Do you love it more than your house? You can't have both.
Like, why not?
Because you don't qualify. You don't make enough money.
Why not?
Because you don't. I'm sorry, Bianca. We're done.
No.
Bianca, we're done!
You got to pull me.
Let go!
I got my belly all scraped.
You're gonna have to let go of your truck. You can only have one! We're done, girl! Get up, you're just embarrassing yourself.
No, I want both.
Yeah.
You can't have both.
You won't believe what I.
The Dave Ramsey one has almost 20,000.
The
Next best time to buy for the next 5 years.
oh, nice. That was my video.
It's
oh.
a reel,
Best time to buy.
right? On there.
Oh, this one. Yeah, it was.
If you're on the fence about buying a home right now because of the raising interest rates, check out what Dave Ramsey has to say about this.
Well, interest rates are up. Buy the house. If interest rates come back down, refinance.
Yeah.
But don't not buy waiting on interest rates.
If you're on the fence about buying
Okay.
a home right now,
Speaking
because
of,
the
there's two
raising
things that I see wrong, like on these, now that I'm looking at it. So social media is meant to be social. We don't post and flee the scene and don't thank people or, you know, give love back to the people. So before you start posting, we need to wake up the platform and start communicating with people. Like go through your line, which I think is hard because a lot of us, like we follow a lot of like famous people more than our everyday people, but you need to intentionally look for those people and go show love to them. Because how do you expect for them to love you back if you're not, you know, if you're just so.
You're talking about your data.
Yeah, your database, like you're following your people from Austin, Texas, not Vegas, not, you know, not the big wigs. Like you need to go to your aunt and cousin that just posted their video. Like they're trying here, love on their stuff. You know, not everybody's doing as much work we are on social media. So what I will say is go wake up the algorithm, go comment, post, love on their stuff, share their content too. You know, if it's a small business, but also when you post, don't post and flee the scene. You need to go and respond to the comments. And that's something I struggle with, but I need to do that. I really need to post.
Ever get negative comments on?
Yes.
And how do you approach that? Like, how do you acknowledge it? Do you?
Your personality needs to show. So if you want to be a smart aleck, you can be that. I guess I wouldn't, but I would be the goofy. I'd be a funny person. Like I guess you're mad, or whatever. I would say be who you are. Like when you do that. I wouldn't say be snobby. Bless you, because they might even, I broke a conversation where someone had jabbed at me. I forgot what I think it's on there. Me and this guy went back and forth, and he was just like, that is stupid, you know, like who would buy in today's market? Like this sucks, whatever. And I was just like, whoa, you learn, what I've learned. But dig in. I would say dig in to learn who they like, why they feel that way though, because what I did was we learned to build a bridge on, you know, where he was thinking and where I was at. And in that conversation, while we were doing that, people were watching my video over and over and over, and they were watching that argument. And so the thing is while there, it wasn't even an argument. While he was stating his point of view, I was rebuttaling with facts, or I was rebuttaling with not rebuttaling. I was trying to be curious. That's what I've learned too. That's another thing that we just learned is be curious. When someone has an objection or someone says something on there on your platform and they're like, that's stupid, like rates are too high, like who in the hell can afford in today's market or whatever. Be curious and be like, what do you think is not affordable, or what's not affordable to you? Is it the rate, or is it the value, the purchase price of the house? And they're like, well, it's both, whatever. And like, well, what if I told you that I can help? Like, what if I told you that a lot of our consumers are buying lower than today's average mortgage rate? What if I showed you that we had success in that? Somebody's watching how you're responding to that. So watch how you respond to it and educate that person that's arguing with you. And I think there's some point you're gonna have to walk away from the argument. But what I'm saying is use that to feed into your algorithm, because
Well, what I'm taking from that is we all have to maintain a professionalism, right? And so
Yes.
how do you want to carry yourself?
yes.
And so if there's an opportunity to educate, then you can try to educate. And if they don't want to listen, that's fine. But you can then, like Carlin said, you can politely say, you know, I'm sorry you feel that way.
Mhm.
I am happy. I am here to help my database. I'm here to help everyone achieve their dreams. Everyone might be in a different place, and that's fine. We can move on.
Everyone has a different journey.
So, this was just posted by Broke Agent, and it's very appropriate for what we're talking about. The
This
first
one?
one, yeah.
But what I like racing. I don't know how many of you guys like doing that, but that's, you know, I feel like all these activities, grilling meats, racing are probably two of the most fun things that that you can do. So yeah, Eric, are you going to watch the? But what I like racing.
So,
I don't know how many of you guys.
Broke Agent, they make fun of, you know, the humor side of it, right?
Yeah.
And so it's funny to laugh at, but it's also like, hey, everyone's going to start somewhere, and everyone they're stereotypes for a reason, right? So I think that it's really good that you shared, hey, find yourself, find your niche, find your avatar. I like that a lot. If you hear something 3 times, that's something that you need to work on addressing.
Same question over and over.
Then that should go on your content list. Yeah, those are my key takeaways. I think it's really helpful.
I know some of them, like for us, it's humor.
Well,
but
again,
it's
these are funny for us.
Those are so their avatar is to real estate agents.
Mhm.
So that's like the inside.
If you post a lot of these, you could be turning a buyer or a seller off based off of some, you know, because sometimes it's like,
she's
when I hear the seller
disingenuous.
did this,
Yeah.
yeah, you know.
She's
so.
not even thinking of us like on this side that are struggling with that. Yes. Don't. Yeah.
Yeah. So they're for us. Sometimes I share them on Realty Ones, you know, there's agents, like we all need to blow off steam
Yeah.
because we have to find a way to. But it's just to go to show that, hey, like they know their brand and they know who they're talking to, but a consumer is not going to get that. So.
But
do you
I
have
will
any
say
closing
this.
Thoughts too, because it's 11. I want to make sure people online, if you guys need to go, you can.
I'm gonna say this real quick. Whenever you post, you know why that we're all like, do you see how this just started a debate on like whether we should post it or not? You have to be controversial on social media. So when you post, I would say you don't like, again, don't offend somebody, but be controversial on, you know, this is another video, but I said, why would anybody want to buy in today's market? And like, I just was saying like a whole bunch of no's, like, no, why would I want, there's too much inventory. I just said all the no's, but really what I was doing was pulling that person in by being controversial, because there's negative Nancy's that would love to hear us be negative, right? So what I did is I turned it around on them and I'm like, there's just so much inventory. Who wouldn't want to buy? So anyways, that's what I used was a reverse. So be controversial is what I would say. I don't use hashtags. I don't use hashtags, but what I did learn was when we post, remember how they have those tags of like, how does it, what are the, oh, whatever. I'm trying to hurry up because I'm getting nervous. Categories. So what I've learned now, this is another thing that I wrote to note to self, because every time I post, I'm like, what categories? Because real estate fall in. None of it really, like honestly, none of it. So what I'm going to do is start looking at those categories, study those, and figure out how I can make content around those categories with real estate, where it applies. Right. Pets. There's 30-year-old people, you know, first-time home buyers that are buying a house for their dog. So I'm gonna do probably a real estate post. I'm like, you want a house? You know, like with the dog or whatever. And then now it's a category that I get to check off and really ride the wave of. So
I've gone, because I'm like, what else can I do to like get my videos out there? And I went to categories scrolling through and I'm like, real estate's not on here.
it's not on there.
I guess I could do
Home
Okay.
decor. That's all we had was home,
Yeah.
like, yeah. So I hope
That's
that,
smart.
yeah, I hope at least some of this was informative for y'all. Yeah. Bye, guys. What do I, what? I just, on my notes. So like.
Thanks, guys online. We'll see you later.